Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you. It's my privilege to be here in Gettysburg, hallowed ground where so many lives were given in service to freedom. Amazing place. President Lincoln served in a time of division like we've never seen before. It is my hope that we can look at his example to heal the divisions we are living through right now. We are a very divided nation. I'm not a politician and have never wanted to be a politician. Believe me. But when I saw the trouble our country was in, I knew I couldn't stand by and watch any longer. Our country has been so good to me. I love our country, and I felt I had to act. I've seen the system up close and personal for many years. I've been a major part of it. I know how the game works in Washington and on Wall Street, and I know how they've rigged the rules of the game against everyday Americans. The rules are rigged. Nearly 1 in 4 Americans in their prime earning years isn't even working. 1 in 5 households have no one with a job. 45 million Americans are on food stamps, and 47 million are living in poverty. We have failed our inner cities, and in so doing, have failed our African American and Hispanic communities. We've misguided military adventures overseas and wars that go on forever that just cannot be won by the people that are doing it now. They don't know how to win the wars. At home, we have our great veterans dying while waiting for medical care. Change has to come from outside our very broken system. Our system is broken. The fact that Washington and the Washington establishment has tried so hard to stop our campaign is only more proof that our campaign represents the kind of change that only arrives once in a lifetime. The system is totally rigged and broken. First, the issue of voter fraud. According to Pew, there are 24 million voter registrations in the United States that are either invalid or significantly inaccurate. And when I say that, there are such inaccuracies, it's unbelievable. 1.8 million dead people are registered to vote, and some of them are voting. I wonder how that happens. 2.8 million people are registered in more than one state. These are numbers, folks. These are numbers. 14% of non-citizens are registered to vote. The system is also rigged because Hillary Clinton should have been precluded from running for the presidency of the United States. But the FBI and the Justice Department covered up her crimes, which included lying to the FBI and Congress on numerous occasions, and included saying, "I do not recall," to the FBI on 39 separate times. She recalls everything else, but 39 separate times she said, "I do not recall." Well, that's a lie also. Then there is the deletion of at least 33,000 emails after receiving a subpoena from the United States Congress. That's after receiving the subpoena. As an example, it was announced this week that the highly respected four-star general, James Cartwright, may be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison with a massive fine for lying on one occasion to the FBI. And he said he did that for national security reasons. Highly respected man, a four-star general. This took place 2 days ago. How must he feel? A big part of the rigging of this election is the fact that Hillary is being allowed to run despite having broken so many laws on so many different occasions. Why is she allowed to run? The dishonest mainstream media is also part, and a major part, of this corruption. They're corrupt. They lie and fabricate stories to make a candidate that is not their preferred choice look as bad and even dangerous as possible. At my rallies, they never show or talk about the massive crowd size and try to diminish all of our events. On the other hand, they don't show the small size of Hillary's crowds, but in fact talk about how many people are there. Very small crowds. You know it, they know it, everybody knows it. Over the last 2 days, 3 highly respected national polls said we're in first place. And one of those pollsters was the most accurate poll on the last 2 cycles. But the media refuses to even say it or put that word out. They refuse to talk about it. They're trying desperately to suppress my vote and the voice of the American people. As an example of the power structure I'm fighting, AT&T is buying Time Warner and thus CNN, a deal we will not approve in my administration because it's too much concentration of power in the hands of too few. Likewise, Amazon, which through its ownership controls the Washington Post, should be paying massive taxes, but it's not paying. And it's a very unfair playing field. And you see what that's happening and what that's doing to department stores all over the country. Very, very unfair, and you're talking about billions and billions of dollars. They should be paying those taxes. Additionally, Comcast's purchase of NBC concentrates far too much power in one massive entity that is trying to tell the voters what to think and what to do. Deals like this destroy democracy. And we'll look at breaking that deal up and other deals like that. This should never, ever have been approved in the first place. They're trying to poison the mind of the American voter. Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Total fabrication. The events never happened. Never. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over. But a simple phone call placed to the biggest newspapers or television networks gets them wall-to-wall coverage with virtually no fact-checking whatsoever. Here is why this is relevant to you. If they can fight somebody like me, who has unlimited resources to fight back, just look at what they can do to you, your jobs, your security, your education, your health care, the violation of religious liberty, the theft of your Second Amendment, the loss of your factories, your homes, and much more. Look at what they've done to you with your jobs. It has just been learned on video that the violent protests at some of my rallies, like in Chicago, where police and others were seriously hurt, you saw that, blood pouring down their face, were caused by paid DNC and Clinton campaign operatives. Now, we didn't know this. We didn't know this. This just came out 2 days ago on tape. We didn't know this. We were amazed at the level of violence. These were paid operatives, paid by the DNC and probably the Clinton campaign. This is a criminal act. Policemen were badly hurt, and so were many others. And these people should be prosecuted. But because of the rigged system, they probably won't be. Just like we found out about these paid violent protesters, it was probably the DNC and the Clinton campaign that put forward these liars with their fabricated stories. But we'll find out about their involvement at a later date through litigation, and I look so forward to doing it. The rigging of the system is designed for one reason: to keep the corrupt establishment and special interests in power at your expense, at everybody's expense. I have no special interest but you, the American voter. I didn't have to do this, believe me. There's nothing easy about it. But I had to do it. I love our country. I love the people of our country. And I felt I had to do it. Thank you. One thing we all know is that we will never solve our problems by relying on the same politicians who created these problems in the first place. Hillary Clinton is not running against me. She's running against change. And she's running against all of the American people and all of the American voters. We now find ourselves at that very special fork in the road. Do we repeat the mistakes of the past, or do we choose to believe that a great future, yet unwritten, still lies ahead for us and for our wonderful, beloved country? I think it does. I know it does. My economic plan will deliver at least 25 million jobs in 1 decade. Now, our jobs have been taken away. They've gone to Mexico. They've gone to so many other countries. It's a one-lane highway where they get the jobs, they get the factories, they get the money, and we get the drugs, and we get the unemployment, and it's going to change, believe me, and it's going to change fast. And that goes for all countries. When you look at China, when you look at every country, every trade deal we have is horrible. And we should be ashamed of our people and the people that let those deals happen. They're defective, and they knew they were defective. And they were done for a reason. And believe me, they will be unwound so fast. And we will have trade. We will have great trade. And it'll be free trade. But it'll be fair trade, and it'll be real. My security plan, so important. They've taken the jobs from us. My security plan will bring safety to our poorest communities. My ethics plan will end the corruption in our government. We will... The corruption is massive. We will drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.